We have with us today CSIR Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology Director Dr. Rakesh K. Mishra. Namaskar, Dr. Rakesh Mishra ji.
Namaskar.
It has been more than 15 months that the COVID and coronavirus start affecting the mankind across the world. And in between, several times you spoke to our listeners and shared your experience and observations and studies which are being happening regarding coronavirus. So, what is the latest condition in the wake of second wave, and what exactly is happening during this second wave?
It was expected there will be second wave, there may be third wave, but nobody imagined that this wave will be so ferocious, so strong, that we will have 4 lakh, 3 lakh people, new cases every day, and it will overwhelm the healthcare system. As such, the virus is the same. There is not much different, though we see different variants and all. They may be little more infectious, but disease symptoms, mortality, they remain more or less same. But what is happening now is that because of the sudden surge in number of cases in many cities especially, the healthcare system is under tremendous stress, and care that is needed for the people is not possible to deliver, and that is what is a major problem.
What is the difference between the first wave and second wave as far as virus load is concerned?
As far as we know, there is no difference actually in the virus load. The number of people infected are more. There is a reason for that. We can discuss that. And that is why, because of sudden increase in the number of people, then it is like a chain reaction. 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, and like that. And then it goes in and it spirals up, multiplies like that, the number of infected people. Then what is happening is the net number, the absolute number of infected people is people who need hospitalization is very high. And most important thing is we cannot have more and more healthcare workers. That is going to be our biggest shortage.
Exactly.
And in fact, in 1.5 year of battle with COVID, we have lost more than 800 doctors to this infection. So that is something which is a matter of concern.
The coronavirus spreading capability is the same thing during first wave and second wave, but because of people's behavior getting fast spreading. Can we understand like this?
This virus is like many other viruses. They keep changing, they keep mutating, and new variants will keep emerging. And any variant which emerges, if it is slightly more infectious than the previous one, it slowly increases its footprint and becomes dominant, and other versions disappear. That is what is happening with this virus also, and continuously variants are emerging. So it is only expected that newer variants will probably be more infectious, slightly more infectious. But method to prevent that infection is the same. And what happened in our country was that we all became very relaxed towards the end of the year, beginning of the year. Vaccine has come, cases went down because of very strict lockdown and the fear in the people which was in the first round. Cases came down dramatically, and I think top to bottom people thought that we are out of pandemic now. And people started to do normal behavior of virus is there everywhere. Now it got a chance to infect large number of people.
You were just mentioning about variations in coronavirus like in any other virus. What is the current virus variant which is affecting more?
India is a very large country. So, like if you look into the north of India, in Punjab, in Delhi, and Haryana, and maybe in UP, although we don't have information, in these places the most prominent one is the UK variant, which came from UK. And with some group of people infected from UK came and entered some parts of the Punjab or Haryana or Chandigarh, Delhi, and somewhere this region, and they had large gatherings and meetings. That's how the data suggests. That clustering then spread the UK variant in those people who are local, and then they went to their villages, cities, and places, and it is known to spread more efficiently, so it spread fast. So Punjab, more than 90% probably cases are UK variant. Now another wave independently that originated, that has more another variant which people are calling double mutant, or which actually name is B.1.617 variant, which probably originated in Maharashtra sometime October, November. But when activities increased, people became more careless and suddenly started to take the advantage and became a wave. Maharashtra has generally this double mutant or 617 variant in a larger number, maybe be 40-50% or more, and some other variants, little bit of UK variant also. Similarly, in Bengal, there is another variant called 618. There also 617, the Maharashtra prominent variant is taking over there, and it will probably replace 618 soon. In the south of India now, in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana or Kerala, even Karnataka, in these places, there is another variant called L440K, which has been around for many months, and it's not very different from common variants or older variants. It's same mortality, same kind of infectivity, but it was slowly taking over, and I think this is more than 50-60% of the variants are that. But now with more interaction and more in cases, this also is increasing its footprint. In Karnataka, I think now the double mutant is spreading from Maharashtra side. So as you can see, in different parts of the country, different kinds of variants are increasing. So that means it is not the variant which is causing a problem. Problem is what is common in all these things. Common is behavior of people or carelessness. If we have a large number of people infected and we are carrying virus which is more infectious, so we are now providing virus a very strong platform to come up with new and maybe more
dangerous also.
So to avoid that, we should break the chain as soon as we can. So all of us, and this is not something which government can do or a state can do. This is people have to do. We have to understand, and that's why I'm very keen that message goes to your radio stations that we have to take the matter in our hand, which means wear the mask, don't come out without any purpose, don't be in cluster, and never remove your mask while talking outside with anybody. Don't gather in one room like a cinema hall or restaurant or one room or some panchayat or whatever. Don't cluster together, make social distance, and hand hygiene is important. Keep washing your hand frequently before you eat. Don't touch your mouth again and again. If we do these things, we can still come out with this without any further damage. This should be part of our culture.
Coming to the point of the latest studies and research which is going on in CCMB, could you please throw some light?
We have been doing several things. One is we are doing very extensive monitoring or surveillance of the virus by genome sequencing to know which variant is coming. And then when we find new variant, we culture that in the lab so that we can study the variant more. And that is how we know that vaccines are working.
Yes.
And we have been testing many products, sterilization method, drugs against this virus using variant that we culture in the lab. And there are lots of leads that are coming, and hopefully they will reach people. We have also introduced new methods of testing, which is we call it dry swab method, which is fast. Now ICMR has approved, and many governments are now going to use that. So that will help us testing more people with same accuracy as RT-PCR is known for.
Is it a new type of test altogether, or any variation between the previous tests and the new one?
It is the improvement of RT-PCR test. In RT-PCR test, you collect sample in a liquid called VTM. That is nasopharyngeal swab is put in the tube which contains this pink color liquid, and that liquid is then transported to the labs for testing. So it needs to be sealed properly because it can leak, and when it reaches the lab, it takes a lot of time to open the seal, unpack it, and then take out. Then we take this sample from VTM and make RNA, which is expensive and time-taking process. In fact, that becomes the bottleneck. We have done new method is that you take the swab but don't put in the VTM, put it in a dry tube and then bring that tube to the test lab. So that means there is no liquid in the tube. So you don't need to seal. You just put a simple cover and nothing will leak. And when it reaches the lab, it is very safe for healthcare workers. Then you don't need to do RNA preparation in this. So you take less than half the time, and it is much less expensive. So same person who was doing 100, 200 tests in the same setting, same machine, without any new addition, can do now 400, 600 tests.
So what are the states which are taking up this particular test, sir?
So currently this method is used in a few places. So one we use in our place. There are several companies that are using. Lab in Nagpur, Niri, they are using. In fact, they have used the maximum. They have done more than 50,000 tests recently. And because it is very fast, that's the only place where there is no backlog of sample. The rest all the labs in Nagpur have the backlog. And now a couple of days back, Maharashtra government has announced that they are going to adopt dry swab method. So that will be very large consumption of large use of this. And important thing is that we have signed agreement and given license to many companies, including Apollo Hospitals, Spice Health, Merrill Life, and couple of other companies who are making kit based on our method, so which will be the same property of safe, fast, and all that. So I think in coming week or two, this will be very widely used thing, and it will be helpful to people. One more thing which I'm hopeful that it will come to use very soon, is the antibody treatment that we have developed along with a company in Hyderabad called Vince Biologicals. And what we do in this is that we grow the virus in the lab and in very large quantity, and then inactivate the virus and then inject this virus into horses. Horses will develop antibody against this virus, which is then isolated from the horses from their blood. We don't have to kill the horse. We take some blood, take out the antibody, and they can inject more and keep getting more antibodies like that. And this antibody is then injected in the person who has infection. What has happened is we have tested in the culture. This is very effective. It neutralizes all the virus variants. So now DCGI, the Drug Controller General of India, has given approval for the human phase 1, phase 2 trial, which should begin. They have asked for a few locations and all for trials. So that should begin in 1-2 days next week, certainly. I'm very hopeful that those trials will be successful, and in maybe 3-4 weeks we will have at least emergency usage approval for this. This is going to be the first specific drug against this disease. So it will be given to people who go to hospital and they are sick, but not much damage. If we inject, then it will kill all the virus in the body and person should recover very quickly.
Which places you are going to try this as part of phase 1 and phase 2 trials?
At the moment, we have chosen a hospital in Delhi and then another hospital in Rajasthan in Bikaner. So that is based on logistics and some access to the patients and hospital agreeing to do that. We will do from these two places.
How much time you are expecting it to take?
So if the phase 1, phase 2 trial, which will be done simultaneously, may get over in maybe 4 weeks, 5-6 weeks. That depends upon how things go. After that, we have to go back to DCGI. So we can, if the results are very good, then we can go for 2 applications simultaneously for phase 3 trial and for emergency usage approval.
If we compare already existing a kind of treatment like plasma treatment, if we compare with that aspect, how different it is?
In fact, there is no treatment against this virus, but plasma therapy is one thing, and in fact it's a very correct thing that you brought up. It actually replaces plasma therapy in a very sophisticated manner. In the sense, plasma therapy, you need a donor. That person's blood has to match. That match in the sense it should not have other infections and so on. And you are giving to a patient who is in a difficult condition 100 ml, 200 ml somebody else's plasma, which generally causes a shock in the body, and that's why it is never considered as a treatment. It's always as an emergency trial mode. But antibody that we are proposing as a drug is very small volume. A half a milliliter is what will be required for injection. And it is concentrated as only antibody. It is not the plasma or other components in the blood. Has everything, many things other than the antibody. So this is more like a drug. So it substitutes, it uses the approach of like passive immunity. So that means antibody is going and attacking the virus, but these antibodies are provided externally. So it should be much more effective, and it's not like plasma therapy, but it will be a real recognized drug, I think. Like a snake bite. It should be something like antidote of snake, or that is a thing which is a few hundred rupees. My feeling is maybe couple of doses should be enough. Given in 2 days, 3 days, 3 doses, and it should be all right.
Thank you so much for your insights, Dr. Rakesh K. Mishra. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you.